All right, guys, Mr. Antonucci here, and in this series of videos, we're going to talk about improper integrals. We're going to cover this in two videos. So first thing we want to do is find integrals with an infinite limit of integration. So previously, when we would evaluate a definite integral, it actually required that the upper and lower limits were real numbers and that the function was defined on the closed interval a to b, so at the endpoints and in between the endpoints of the limits of integration. However, in some cases, it is actually possible to evaluate an integral where one or both of the limits are infinite, or the function is not defined at an endpoint of a closed interval or interior point. These are actually called improper integrals. So if the value of an improper integral exists and is a real number, it's said to converge. If the value does not exist or it is infinite, it is said to diverge. So these are some good vocabulary words and terminology to be familiar with. First, we're going to look at situations in which one or both of the limits of integration are infinite. So here, let's take a peek at these examples. We're going to determine whether the following improper integrals converge or diverge. So if we have the integral from 1 to infinity of 1 over x dx, what you have to do is you have to rewrite this as the limit as b approaches infinity of the integral from 1 to b of 1 over x dx. So this would become the limit as b approaches infinity, the antiderivative of 1 over x, which is natural log x, absolute value of x, but it's kind of redundant because the limits are 1 and b is positive. So 1 to b. So that's going to be the limit as b approaches infinity of natural log of b minus natural log of 1. And as b approaches infinity, natural log of b approaches infinity, and natural log of 1 goes to 0. So we would have infinity as our answer. So this limit is infinite, so we would say that this diverges. Now, I want to take a minute here and talk about proper notation. It is actually incorrect to write the integral from 1 to infinity of 1 over x dx equals infinity. Do not write that. You're going to need to pay close attention to the correct limit notation with these improper integrals. The undefined bounds of integration have to be replaced with at least one variable. So you need to replace at least one of those variables, sometimes both of them, with a limit approaching the needed value from the appropriate direction. So in particular, infinity cannot be used as a numerical value within an evaluation statement or expression. So we would not say that the integral equals infinity. We say that integral diverges. Let's take a peek at this next example. We have the integral from negative infinity to 0 of e to the x. We would rewrite this as the limit as a approaches infinity, negative infinity, of the integral from of a to 0 of e to the x dx. The antiderivative of e is e, so this would be the limit as a approaches negative infinity of e to the x, evaluated at a and 0. So the limit as a approaches negative infinity of e to the 0 minus e to the a. E to the 0 is just going to be 1 minus e to the a. Now, a approaches negative infinity, so a is a negative number, so e is going to actually approach, e to the a is going to actually approach 0. So this limit is equal to 1, and this integral converges. If we take a look at this third example, we have the integral from pi over 2 to infinity of sine x dx. So we'll rewrite this as the limit as b approaches infinity. The reason I'm using b is because typically the integral is from a to b. And since we're replacing the upper limit with a variable, we're going to use b. So to be pi over 2 to b of sine x dx, which is equal to the limit as b approaches infinity of negative cosine x evaluated at b and pi over 2. So this is the limit as b approaches infinity of negative cosine b minus a negative cosine of pi over 2. Cosine of pi over 2 is 0. Cosine of b as b approaches infinity, well, it oscillates between 1 and -1, so it does not approach a finite value. So we say that this integral diverges. We could further specify that the limit doesn't exist because the value of cosine b oscillates between -1 and 1. So another situation that arises is if both limits of integration are infinite. So we'll take a look at an example here. If both limits are infinite, we have to start off by rewriting the integral in terms of two separate integrals where each one only has one improper limit. So what I mean by that is we're going to do the integral from -infinity to 0 of 4x cubed dx plus the integral from 0 to infinity of 4x cubed dx. Now, the choice of 0 strategically picked because it's usually easy to plug 0 in for a limit. But you could have used 1, -1, 10, 1,000, as long as the number is part of the domain of the function. So then we could rewrite this first integral as the limit as a approaches -infinity of a to 0 of 4x cubed dx, which is going to be the limit as a approaches -infinity of x to the 4th from a to 0. So this is the limit as a approaches -infinity of 0 to the 4th minus a to the 4th. This becomes 0. This becomes infinity, so it'd be minus infinity. So that equals -infinity. Now, there's no need to continue because if one or both of those improper integrals diverge, then the whole integral diverges. I want to go through one more example here. So if I have the integral from -infinity to infinity of 1 over 1 plus x squared, what I'm first going to do is rewrite this as the integral from -infinity to 0 of 1 over 1 plus x squared dx plus the integral from 0 to infinity of 1 over 1 plus x squared dx. And then I'm first going to check the limit as a approaches -infinity of the integral from a to 0 of 1 over 1 plus x squared dx, which is the limit as a approaches -infinity. This is tangent inverse, so the antiderivative is tangent inverse of x from a to 0. So this is the limit as a approaches -infinity of tangent inverse 0 minus tangent inverse of a. Tangent inverse of 0 is 0. And tangent inverse of a as a approaches -infinity is going to approach -pi/2. So when we're subtracting that, we would get pi/2. So the first limit converges. So we would keep going and do the second one to check it. We can't conclude yet that it converges. So we'll do the limit as b approaches infinity, integral from 0 to b, 1 over 1 plus x squared dx. This is going to be the limit as b approaches infinity of tangent inverse. We're going to plug in the b minus tangent inverse of 0. Tangent inverse of 0 is 0. Tangent inverse of b as b approaches infinity is going to approach pi/2. Plus 0 gives us pi/2. So we know that the first one is pi/2. The second one is pi/2. So the overall limit for both of them adds to pi. So the integral converges, and it converges to pi. So if either or both of the improper integrals diverge, then the improper integral overall is said to diverge. Only in the case where both improper integrals converge does the overall integral converge. So just be careful there. The second thing we want to do is talk about interpreting an improper integral geometrically. So we could just think of these as area under the curve type problems. So we want to determine whether the area under the graph of y equals 1 over x squared to the right of x equals 1 is defined. So the area under the curve is defined as the integral from 1 to infinity. This says to the right of x equals 1, which implies that you're going out to infinity of 1 over x squared. We have to set up the limit notation. So the limit as b approaches infinity, the integral of 1 to b of 1 over x squared dx. This is going to be the limit as b approaches infinity of negative 1 over x, going from 1 to b. So this is the limit as b approaches infinity of negative 1 over b minus negative 1 over 1. As b approaches infinity, this fraction would approach 0, and minus a negative 1 over 1 is going to equal just 1. So we have 1, and therefore it is defined, the area under the curve to the right of x equals 1. Then if we look at this next example, we want to evaluate the improper integral from 1 to infinity of 1 over root x. So we're going to interpret it as the area under the curve to the right of x equals 1. So we would need to start off with the limit as b approaches infinity of 1 to b. Now, 1 over square root x can be thought of as 1 over x to the 1/2, which is x to the negative 1/2. And then if you anti-differentiate that, you add 1 to the exponent, multiply by the reciprocal of the exponent, and then you'd have 2 root x. So this is going to be the limit as b approaches infinity of 2 root b minus 2 root 1. And as b approaches infinity as well, and the integral diverges, so this area is not defined. If you noticed, if we compare these two, this first one was 1 over x squared, and it converged. This second one, we're looking at the area under the graph of essentially 1 over x to the 1/2, and it diverged. The general form is 1 over x to the p. Now, there's actually a theorem that generalizes this result. If you have the improper integral from 1 to infinity of 1 over x to the p, or dx over x to the p, it's going to converge if p is greater than 1 and diverge if p is less than or equal to 1. Another thing that's important to notice is that the limits are 1 and infinity. If you went from 0 to infinity, it would not apply. The limits have to be 1 and infinity. All right, guys, that's it for this one. Hope that was helpful to you. Make sure you check out the next video for the other half of improper integrals.